You know, when you begin to track down or pull the veil off of Pauline Grace, such as what I've been doing here for the past several videos, in that just taking a look at what he had said, right? You're no longer under the law, all right? You're under grace. And a poor Christian has never been challenged to define the law. And they are dissuaded, I imagine, from applying simple biblical hermeneutics to that word law. All right. So, as grace is, as I am defining grace right here, Pauline grace is utter rebellion against God and His commandments. Because if you're not under the law, if you are not under the truth, all right, Yahshua said, I am the way, the truth, right? I am the way, the Torah, which is, it's kind of like, why do you Christians seek to redefine the truth when it comes to Yahshua? And that's what you do. You redefine the truth. No longer does Yahshua have anything at all to do with that, what you guys were led to believe, that heinous law, right? And you totally forget that the Psalms, the law, the prophet, and the Psalms testify of Yahshua, right? But you think that somehow that law was evil. You know, I mean, anyway, let me digress here. The grace of Paul demands rebellion against the authority of God. Absolutely demands it, or you can't play in Paul's sandbox, right? Which is today the totality of Christianity is Paul's sandbox, right? It's all predicated upon grace. It's all predicated upon do not do the law of Moses or you'll lose your salvation. And that is exactly what Christianity teaches, right? And however, Yahshua said exactly the opposite. Unless you do the law of Moses, you have no salvation. You have none. So, when you see grace is in reality the spirit of rebellion. It's the spirit of rebellion. What else? What else is called rebellion? Oh, gee, does this sound familiar to anybody? For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. Now, when you can clearly equate Pauline grace with rebellion, read it that way. For grace is as the sin of witchcraft. And in this case, it's very true. Grace is a satanic spell, a serpentine dragon spell that has been cast over Christianity. Does any image come to mind here, people? Think the great red dragon, the great deceiver, the author of the great rebellion, he who is called king over the children of pride. They who refuse to submit themselves to the authority of the living God have inadvertently submitted themselves to the great red dragon, to that ancient serpent, to that serpent that seduced Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. That is the spirit that is behind Pauline grace. That is the spirit that is going to damn every single solitary Christian who bends their knee to Pauline grace and rejects the Word of God, which is your life. The commandments are your life. From the beginning, people, from the Garden of Eden, this has been the word to man. Keep the commandments and live. Gee, what would have happened? What would our world look like if Adam and Eve had survived that test? But they didn't. And Christians have been, this seems to have been expunged from the grace crowd, that God himself will test and try your heart. And you go into Deuteronomy 13 and you read it, and God has frequently used false prophets to test the hearts of his people. And Christians claim that they are the people of God, and yet they have not survived the test. They still prefer and love the lie. They love grace with all their heart. They sing, their love songs are about grace. Their love songs are all about the great rebellion and how they love the lie. I know that's not cold water in the face, folks, but that's true. Any spirit, any doctrine, folks, that turn you away from the voice of God and his commandments, the origin of that voice that seeks to turn you away is the great red dragon, that serpent that manifested in the Garden of Eden, that plundered Adam and Eve, that seduced them, cast them into exile. No kingdom of heaven for Adam and Eve anymore, no tree of life, no God is my salvation, no milthaw, no milthaw. And Christians have become so comfortable in the tree of the knowledge of good and evil that they prefer it to be their eternal resting home, because that's what they've chosen. They have chosen witchcraft. And this is really, this is the essence of grace, the great blinder that is over Christianity, the thing that prevents so many of them from ever hearing the truth, from ever seeing the light. Grace. They believed a lie. These are the people that are outside the city. These are the people that did not make it into what we might say the kingdom of heaven. They are not. They did not qualify to be the bride. They did not qualify to even fellowship with the bride. They're locked out of the new city because they would not obey his voice and keep his commandments. Folks, go back and read Revelation 22. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and entrance to the new city. Nobody who walks in Pauline grace shall enter this city. Nobody. Pauline grace is well on its way to accomplishing the damnation of more than 1 billion people if they will not return to God and his commandments. That's how serious it is. That's the seriousness of this hour. And we got all these Christian prophets out there, and every single solitary one of them are political. They're political prophets. They prophesy as to current events, but not unto the eternal things of the living God. They do not prophesy this way. They're only going to give you political events, what's going to take place in the White House, what's going to take place in the media, what's going to take place in the Congress, what's going to take place here and here, right? But never what's going to take place here in the heart. At the kingdom of heaven, people, it has always been at hand. The only reason why Christians never obtain the kingdom of heaven is because they chose the kingdom of grace, which is rebellion and witchcraft. For heaven's sakes, just take a scan of what the Roman Catholic Church looks like. You know, the mother of the church, right? Well, you take a look at Christianity. They're Roman. They're Roman. You know, I mean, huh? Dang. But that's true. Grace is a witchcraft spell that is over the church. And I'll get back to you in a little bit. My internet's off right now, so I'm just kind of getting my thoughts down. I'll be talking at you in just a minute. Bye bye. Or talking with you. Real quickly here, when you really begin to see things for what they are, it's kind of like, all right, again, we'll go back to this, right? Oh, you're not under the law; you're under grace. Translated out into the world is this: defund the police, right? Defund the police. Get rid of the law. Get rid of cash bail. Don't prosecute criminals, right? You're not under the law. You're under grace. That's how that applies out there in the, in the liberal cities, right? What's the freaking difference? Same spirit, same spirit. They want to say, no, 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 we don't want any law. And the Christians are saying exactly the same thing. Well, you're not under the law, you're under grace. All things are lawful, right? How's that apply and how's that translate out in the world, right? Well, take a look at Chicago, New York, D.C. See, I mean, any Democrat-led city, you can see a magnificent manifestation of the doctrines of Christianity, of the doctrines of Paul when it comes to authority, right? So you also can apply this to what Paul had said. You're no longer under the law, you're under anarchy. Because where there is no law, people, there is anarchy. And unfortunately, this is true in the hearts of Christians as they allow this spirit. And you understand what spirit is coming out of them. When you understand that grace is rebellion, rebellion is witchcraft. Witchcraft casts a spell over the hearts of those who use it, and they are utterly blinded to what they are doing because they have flagrantly rejected the authority of the living God. The only thing they have left is a great delusion. And you cannot really equate the great red dragon with politics. Yeah, you're going to see the manifestation of what's coming out of the mouth of Christians, right? Because they feed this spirit. They feed it and they feed it and they feed it. Every single time they meet in church and declare the words of Paul, they are feeding the great red dragon, who is the spirit of rebellion, who is king over the children of pride, Leviathan. Again, the same serpent that seduced Adam and Eve. So when you recognize these things, people, you're going to see that the great red dragon has far more to do with Roman Pauline Christianity than it does political entities. Far more to do with Christianity than political entities. And the spirit behind the great red dragon is Christian grace. You're no longer under the law. All things are lawful. Gee, looks like Antifa took those words to heart, didn't they? Anarchy. Chaos. That's what you get. And Christianity unleashes this spirit 24/7. Never realizing, never understanding, never coming into anything remotely resembling a knowledge of the truth, which is the law. And yeah, their words are having a horrifically destructive effect upon this nation. The source of the lawlessness that you see in America today, the source of the lawlessness that you see in D.C. and in the media, this is all unleashed and sanctioned by the Christian church as they claim we are no longer under the law. We are no longer under the truth. We are no longer under the righteousness of the living God. We are no longer under his authority. We're no longer under the words of Yahshua himself. No. Paul, the author of the great rebellion, is the God of the Christians. Gee, you might start taking a look at the great red dragon, people, a little differently. See, the beast which has swallowed up Christianity in its rebellion. The beast is the one trying to define to you what the dragon is. The enemy wants that sole authority to define to the Christians what the great red dragon is. The enemy does that, right? The liars, the people who love the lie, they want to define, and oh, it's politics, oh, it's the media, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. No, it's not. Christian, it's you. That's you. That's you who preach rebellion against the living God 24/7. Those of you who preach that grace supersedes the authority of the living God. Those of you preaching that lie, you're the ones who make up the great red dragon. You are the ones who have been the gatekeepers to the kingdom of heaven and the salvation of God for a long, long time. And right now in this hour, you're getting exposed and you're getting your ass kicked. You're getting exposed and you're getting your ass kicked. Because that battle is happening right now, people. It's happening right now. It's not a battle of good and evil. It's life and death. It's the authority of God. It's the reign of God versus the authority of Paul. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.